female employee, and let's take one more, that is Srinivas, who is salary is 5,000 and he is a male. Okay, and then we have something, running out of names actually, Srinivas. And who else we have? Let me check it out from the quickly from here. We have Arya, who is male. And then we have someone called, let's take Ben, who is a male. Let's take a combination of both. Okay, all right. So we have some hypothetical information of employee name and IDs, salaries, and their gender. Okay, we have Monty male, Ronnie male, Deepa female, Srinivas male again, Rekha is female, Ben is male. These are the information. So let's try to put the IDs here. Just think about like this. We have two tables in Excel. What you do, you basically try to VLOOKUP, right? So that's what all the join is. We are trying to do the joins. Whenever I say three stands for what? We just try to visualize now from the first table, 1 2 3 4, and the third, I believe first one is something called IT, then we given the payroll, then third one is something HR, and the fourth one is finance, right? So three here I'm giving, which is nothing but your HR, and after that I'm giving two. Then let's give some random numbers. Then you have four, then we have one, then we have three. That's it. So each employee who is getting a salary, whether it's a male or female, and it relates to which department, I'm giving just the numbers, because the numbers related information I already have in the other table. So that's it. So what I can do is, now I want to save this table. So what? Okay, we have two tables now. Let's try to run and see if you got the proper data. Yeah. Now, if I ask you, can you please tell me what is Deepa's department? What you do is simply try to VLOOKUP and try to get the information from Deepa. Okay, Deepa's uh, PSID is employee ID is 3, and she's getting 1,000 as a salary. She's a female, and our department is 1, which is nothing but IT. Okay, so basically, I require a join so that I can get this information. So how you're going to do join? So let's try to see. Select star from TBL, what's the table name? TBLE EMP, right? That's the table name. Okay. Okay, this is my table. Now we're trying to build something called a join. This is select star from table. Then what you want to use, simply join. Okay, then you want to join with which table, by the way, that you want to join with the DPT. Okay, after joining with the table, we need to use a very important keyword called on, because I'm trying to use a first set of category of joins. So on is a keyword. Then what you're going to do is you want what is a common column in this both. That is, first one is we are talking about employee table. So what is the employee table column? We have DEPT ID. That's your column name, is equals to what ID? That is ID which are existing in the primary table. So what is the primary table having? That column name is called as DPT ID. Both are same, or it can be different, as you know. There's not a problem. But the problem here is I somehow simply joined without much complicated. When I run it, you'll get an error because it's not identifying. Boss, you have the same two columns from the tables. Can you tell me which department, this department ID is coming from which table? So we need to be very clear. This is coming from, or else you can say simply A, this is B. So that I can say this is A dot department ID, B dot department ID. By the way, I'm not using what type of join I'm saying here. Okay, I'm not using what type of join. So if I mention here inner join, that means I'm talking about inner join. If I'm using left join, that means I'm saying left join. What if I'm not specifying anything? By default will be inner join. Okay, by default is inner join. So when I try to run this, I'm going to get what I require. Okay, but it looks something messy. I don't want all the information. I want I'm very particular what I require. So I first want EMP ID. Then I need maybe name of the person. Okay, then I want the salary. Then I want a gender as well. That's it. These are the columns what I'm looking for. And of course, we need a department name, right? So that's the main thing what you're looking for. Department name is DPT name. That's it. So when I run this, again, there is a problem here. We have not mentioned the alias name. Though these columns are completely showing up from the two tables is fine, but always mention what column you're looking for, that A dot. Otherwise, you will be seeing a different results altogether. A dot. This is also coming from A, that is your name, and salary is also coming from the main table, that is A, and gender is also coming from the main table, no doubt. Department name is not coming from the first table, it is coming from the B table, so B dot. Okay, either you can use the main table name itself, or you can use the alias is always better. Try to go for alias names. It will shorten your table names. Now I got the entire information. What it is trying to do is, okay, what is the table? So let me try to put the table as well here. Let me run everything at once. Now, I could able to do within no time because I know joins how to use them. Okay, very effectively. Select star from table, then what join you want, on which table you want, and what is a common column between these two. Because when you want to join, the only thing what is my requirement is I need to have one common column where I can make them to talk to each other. All right. So this is my department table, which is a static table in my organization forever, because you'll never see that department IDs are changing. And this is my second table, which is employee table, and this is my final output table which is created. Now I'm very clear. Monty is working in HR, Ronnie is working in payroll, Deepa is working in IT, Srinivas is working in finance. So it's quite clear what exactly I require, the way you do a VLOOKUP for that matter. Now everything is joined. Now I want to create a view here. Now this is the important fact here, because I know how to create a view. It's very simple. Just mention as a create view name. That's it, right? We already know the skeleton, but within that, what logic you are looking for? This is the logic what I'm looking for. I want to join two tables and I want to give a final table for you. All right. So here I'll copy the entire information. I'll go here. Let's take, now I'm saying create a view from multiple tables. Now, always logic first try to build. If it is working, then try to put it in the view. So what is view now? Just create view. Always say V, that's a prefix. Let's say some EMP DEPT. That's the name of my view. As is a keyword you can use at the starting or the later. Now, when I run this, my view is created. Okay. Now let's see. As I said, like you'll not find the view anywhere. You will find in the table section. You'll not find anywhere. You will find in the view section. So when you go here and you can see VEMP date DPT is created. When you open it, we have the necessary columns what we want: EMP ID, name, salary, gender. These are the only columns coming from the main table, and DPT is not coming from the first table, it is coming from the second table. But however, I could able to join these two tables because of a join, and later I converted into a view. So guys, views are nothing, it's simple. This is the only command what you need to remember. Rest of the logic what you are building is your own. Whether you want to join, whether you want to order by, whether you want to group by, whatever the conditions you know so far, you can view everything there. Now my view is created. I cannot create again, as I said, because it's already existing, right? So we'll try to see how to use the command which you use whenever you want to do some changes. What is that? We'll use alter command. We'll try to see in little later, but let's try to see how you can put some kind of a different kind of a conditions in the sense I created the view, but I want to put certain conditions also, like might be HR department is looking for only HR information from my table, not everything. So if I run this, or if I just put this select star from that view, as you know, we can use the select command on the views. So when I run this, I'm getting everything. But when I'm running this, I don't want people to view all the information. Maybe IT department should see only these two rows. They have nothing to do with the other rows. So how we are going to restrict at a row level? This is what plays a very important role in the real time, because we have a huge millions of rows. If you create select star from the table and a view to somebody, it makes no sense, because you're not putting any data conditions there. You're not imposing any conditions. Straight away you're giving the view. No, we need to put certain conditions. Let's think. We have some non-IT users which are they're trying to look for a view where they can see only IT related information, not rest of the things information. So obviously you have to put some row level security, guys. Here, row level security in the sense we don't want the entire information to be shown, but you want to show only row level security. That means what you can do here, what I can do is I'll simply copy this, and how you can go for a row level security. So here I'm writing row level security, how you can impose. Okay, in order to give the row level security, let me say here dpt underscore maybe IT, because I'm this table I'm creating for IT people, only they can see IT information, nothing else. So what makes this entire table, which is giving all the results, now I want to restrict to only IT. So obviously we are going to use a where condition. All those conditions what you can use. So where you are getting from this ID column, that is your b dot what is that dpt ID equals to what, dpt name rather, dpt name equal to what is the name, IT, right? IT. So that means now you modified your existing view, or you're trying to create in the same thing. For example, this view is already created. Here, if you're trying to put the where condition, it will not treat this as a new view because the view is already created. You're trying to amend it. But here I'm trying to create altogether a new view. We'll try to see how to modify also, but let's try to see this row level security. Very, very important. You can put all those restrictions, what column level you want to put, you want to go for a row level, or you want to hide certain columns. Okay, now let's try to run this. Now once I run this, it is really successful. Now when I put this select command, I can see only IT people information. They are able to see nothing else, because this is what we require. And just imagine IT people, what they do with the salary. So I want to hide the salary then. So that means it's not about row now. At the same time, column level security also you want to impose. So how you can do that? Let's see, just copying the same view again, putting in the second line, this I'll say non, I'm just giving some weird names, non-sal. Okay, that means without a salary column. Now, how you can avoid non-salary column? I don't want to show them what salary the each employee is getting in my organization, because IT department, nothing related to the salary, right? So where B name is IT, which is good, but at the same time, you want to remove the salary column. What best I can do is simple remove this salary column from here and create a view for them. That's it. Your job is done. Now the IT department is happy. They got the table without the salary table. That's how you're putting a restriction. Why? Is it created? Let's try to rerun again. Okay, it's already existing salary one. Now I said EMP ID, name, gender, department from table A and joining it. So let's try to run this. Successful. Why am I getting salary? Oh, okay. So with this example, first let's take one step back here again. Row level security in the sense you doesn't want the department to see all the department's information. That means you are not maintaining that confidential view. So you want to give only that view which they can use. So likewise, just imagine from this table I can create 4 different views for one IT, one HR, one finance, one payroll, admin, anything like for 5 departments, 5 different views I can create, so that they can start analyzing or viewing whatever the information they want to do gain out of that particular tables. They can do it. So that is one row level security. At the same time, by giving a role level security, your job is not done, because there are certain columns. They have 100 columns here. IT people hardly require other columns. So you're trying to hide which is not really required for by this department. So that means we are not showing up what are the columns important. All right, guys, we have seen how to use the row level security and a column level security, and it's completely up to you how many columns you want to show up. It's not so easy the way I'm writing the query, because it requires a lot of approvals. There is a lot of chain mails which will go between, as a developer, between you and project managers and the business, and they will come to the final conclusion what are the actual column supposed to be given, because there is a confidential information which we not to throw up just like that. All right. So now you know row level and column level security. Now try to see what if somebody is looking at data like aggregated values. What I mean aggregated values is, now we have HR department, how many people are working? Okay, IT department, how many people are working? In finance, how many people are working? So we want only the aggregated values, just like a pivot table. If I create a pivot table out of this second table called department, where is department? Yeah. If I want to create a pivot table kind of thing, okay, if I want to create a pivot table kind of thing. So I don't have the department names in the second table. I have only DPT. So DPT ID. So based on this DPT ID, let's try to connect with this and get the name of the department and try to summarize in the IT how many people are working. In the payroll, how many people are working? In a HR, how many are working? Finance, how many are working? So that's how we need to summarize it. Summarize nothing but when I say it's a pivot. Pivot when I say it is nothing but what kind of what kind of condition we are going to use. So let's try to build first query here. Okay. Yes. So Tej is saying it's a group by, which is perfect answer. So whenever you talk about a pivot table type of thing, you need to always remember group by. Group by is nothing but it will try to group up. All duplicate rows will be termed as a single one. So here, as we're creating the view, I first want to start with the select query. Select, what I want to do is, I want to find, let me remove everything so that we can understand from the scratch. What you want to know actually, you want to know DPT name, right? So DPT name, then what you want, ID count. Okay, how many people are working in that? I want to get the count. So for that, I can use the aggregated function, that is count. Okay, so whenever I use aggregated function, we know what happens. Okay, so I use a aggregated function. Let's give some nice name to it. So let's say total. Otherwise, it will display as with no column, right? So let's say total employees. I'm just trying to give alias name for that. That's it. So from which table? That is a table employee. Then are you joining it? Yes, I'm joining. For which table you are joining? That is DPT DPT B. B is nothing but the other table. So on is a keyword. We are using DPT ID and this. And let me remove this where condition, because there's no where condition required. Because if you put where condition, it will be restricted to IT department. Let me run this, and definitely I'm going to let me see. You'll definitely see some errors here because it's not able to identify. So we need to give a proper naming conventions here, otherwise it will not work, right? So what is the first naming convention here? We need to use a where condition, which is missing after the on keyword. So first let me use a where condition. So what is the where condition we have used? Nothing but this on. Hold on. Select the DPT name. That's what we wanted. That is a group by clause, which I want. And you want the number of people working in the department as a total employees from which table you are looking for. That is an employee table. That is nothing but, is it temp E? Okay, I'm confused. It's a table EMP, right? So table EMP A. Then we are joining with what table? That is table department, which is termed as a B now, on A dot DPT ID equal to B dot DPT ID. So this is going to give me a simple result called joining together. But what is majorly missing here? That is a group by clause. So when you say group by clause, we need to mention all those names which you have apart from aggregated. That's what we remember as a golden rules. Apart from your, what I do is simply I'll try to copy the entire columns what I mentioned in the A column. I'll just try to put it here, and I'll see what are the aggregated columns. I'll remove it because I require only DPT name. If you have mentioned other columns also, then it becomes very important to mention everything. So this is not ID, right? That's why it's throwing an error. Okay, DPT ID. Yeah. So once I run this, what I'm going to see is you are ambitious name. So the problem here I'm facing here is I mentioned the columns very correctly. There is no spelling mistake. The problem here is this DPT ID existing in the both the tables. So there is no differentiation which table you are talking about. So that means we know that employee table is now termed as A. So it's better to always mention as A dot. Okay. Now DPT name is coming from which table? It is coming from the second table. The second table. So let's say A dot. No, sorry, it's coming from B table. That is a department name. So now I'm very clear which column is coming from which table, and the table alias also very clear. And this is also clear because I mentioned the prefix alias names here. Now, once I run this, okay, again, there is an error in this. No, it's unidentified because there's a unique column, right? DPT name. So that's why even though if I don't mention a prefix, that is the alias name, it's still understanding. And DPT, as you know, it's coming from the first table. So now, finance, how many people are working? It is one. HR is working two. IT is working two, and payroll is one. Resume. All right. So as we understood now, whenever you try to create a view, create from you. This is my first example which I've taken in order to create a whenever you try to create a view, it will never allow you again to create the view. Okay, that's for sure. Like for a table, for a database, for a view also same, like it will not allow you to create a cube view again and again. Maybe you can put some other information DPTS, then it will become a unique view in order to create. But here I don't want to create the unique queue. Rather, what I want to do is I want to create the same view. Let me see what this select query is doing actually. It is trying to display all the information. But here, let's try to say I want to order by, okay. Order by name and DESC. That's what I want, descending order, because it's not properly ordered. Now I'm getting descending order. Now I did a small change in my query, but the thing is, even if you do small changes in your logic and when you're trying to run, it is still incorrect. The reason is it is not understanding what you want to do. Okay. So here, when I'm trying to create a view, it is not taking it. So whenever you're adding or whenever you're subtracting something from your table, from your view, it will still say it's already existing. So what you can do is either give a new name or use alter. Once you use alter, what happens is it will remain the same view, and when you run it, it will still work. And what I have done is I've not created any new view, rather the existing view I'm trying to change. Let me refresh it from here rather. And if you go and view, see, I've not created a new view actually. So when I go in the view, tables and views, yeah, sorry, this one. So I've not created any new view here. From the one single table, I created so many views, guys, here. And this is the final view. EMP DPT. Yeah, this is the view. This is I've created first and I also modified later, but the view name is remained same because I've altered it. So when you altered it, I'm running it again. What happens? It will not say anything because you are altering it. It's expecting that you are going to do some changes. Maybe you are going to use a group by there. Maybe you are going to use order by there, or you are some completely changing the logic. Doesn't matter. So whenever you want to modify, use the same keyword, modify the existing views. Okay, this is how you are going to. Now the thing is, I'm not really happy with this view and I want to delete. So let me create a view which I can destroy. Okay, this is one more new view which I'm creating. I don't want to destroy the original. I want to pass it on. So this is a view which I created. Now I want to delete it. So how we are going to delete it? What is the command we are going to use? Drop and use that view name and run it. Okay, now here unknown object type is used to create a drop. So that means it's not understanding what you were trying to drop. So let's say drop view and view name, and when you run it, it is drops. So drop command and what is other drop command or create command directly it doesn't work. So we need to mention what object you're related, because these things will take multiple things, right? If I say simply drop, it's not understanding, are you referring to a database, are you referring to a table, are you referring to a view? So always try to mention what. So always mention what you're trying to drop. So I cannot drop it again because I already dropped it. And if you try to refresh your database, you'll see that this view is not existing anymore. You cannot see this DPT1. So this is how you are going to drop in future anytime when you think this view is not required anymore. Okay, anytime you can drop the views. And guys, as I said, in order to delete or view in the database, okay, what we can use the drop view. That's what we have seen. But just in case, if you want to see, there is some text called, what is that? If you want to see, as I will keep saying, this will not store the data. It will simply store what? The query. So I want to see really, does it store the data or the query? Where is my first one? Yeah, this one, not this complex view. Yeah, VPT department. Now I want to see what it really stores, because when I say select star from, I'm getting the data, right? It looks like as if it's a table, but actually is it storing a table or a query? Because the initial line says, the initial statement of this view says it will store only the query, not the data. So let's try to see that what happens. So SP underscore, if this is nothing but the predefined procedure which I'm using, it's not created by anyone, it's created by the Microsoft itself. So help text is nothing but, this is a predefined stored procedure. That's why you are getting in maroon color. And you, now we need to mention what view you're talking about. When you run this, what happens is it will try to tell you, boss, for view I'm not storing data, I'm just storing query only. For your information, just look at the output window, it is only view. The query I'm storing, I'm not storing anything else. So you can copy, you can steal somebody's views just like this. All right, guys. So it is storing only query, not the data. So that's how you are trying to improve the performance of your organization. The main table is intact. Nobody's accessing, nobody's slowing down, because multiple people, when they're trying to access, it will slow down. So that's why you're trying to create simply a view and uh, trying to improve the performance of your the main tables. All right, guys. The topic for now is subqueries. Let me just bring it on this here. Now, what is a subquery? If you want to understand in a simple terms, what is a subquery? The word itself is already indicating what is sub means. Okay, a subquery. Let me write subquery is, or it is also called as inner query, not inner join, inner query, or it can also be called as a nested query. One and same. Don't get confused. There's not three different concepts. Subquery is also called as inner query. Inner query is also called as nested query. So whatever you call it as, subquery or inner query or nested query, all comes to the same. That is, you want to join multiple queries into one. So that means a query storing one more query embedded with some wave clause is called as a subquery. Okay. So basically, subquery will have consists of two things actually. Contains two things. One is outer query and inner query. What I mean by that, I know select star from table, but is it a inner table, inner query or outer query? So your query is going to consist of two parts. One is outer query and inner query. As I keep saying that select star from table, is it a outer query or inner query? I don't know. Depends upon the kind of question which you are trying to resolve, becomes outer query or inner query. Now let's try to uh, see the execution process, because as I said, there's an inner query and outer query. Let me give the syntax first so that you can talk more about that. So the syntax starts like select star from table. Okay, this is the very simplest form of writing a query. Then I'm opening a bracket here. Okay, you may also would like to give where condition, maybe. Then open the bracket and again says something select star from table. Okay, again you want to write one more query maybe. Let me put it in different blocks so that the syntax should be clear first before we go ahead. And you want to write one more query, you want to write one more query, you want to write one query. Then finally I'm closing how many times? Four times. Now, what exactly is this actually? Sorry, you open, yeah, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So what exactly this mean? what is this outer query here and what is the inner query? Now, if you look at this last line is the inner query. This is the inner query. This is the inner query. This is the inner query, which is stored under the main query called outer query. So basically, it is divided into two queries, that is outer query and inner query. Whatever the first line of statement what you're writing is an outer query for now, and whatever the condition, by using a where condition, you're writing where condition select star from another table or from the same table, and using another table or the same table, again you are using the select command. So this is going to be a query within the query, which is called as a inner query or nested query or subquery. Okay, this is the syntax. Now let's try to follow this syntax and start looking at the execution process. As I said, the execution process is very simple. It is going to first see the inner query, it will execute it, then it will try to take that value and try to compare with the main query called the outer query. Okay, so always remember the query always going to give a single value. Okay, what I mean by giving a single value, let me try to divide this into again two types. Okay, as per the execution process is concerned, this subquery is going to be subdivided with the two types. One is non-correlated subquery. Okay, and one is correlated subquery. Okay, there are two queries here again, types based on their execution process. Let me write that as well. Based on process, it is divided into two types here. Let me close this. Yeah, it is divided into two types again. One is non-correlated subquery, one is correlated subquery. But before getting into more, first let's try to see what is non-correlated subquery. Now we understood what is a subquery. Subquery is a query within the query, and we have two types. One is inner query and outer query. Now I'm bothered about how execution process really happens. Will it first execute the outer query or the inner query? So based on that execution process, it's further divided into two types. One is non-correlated subquery and one is correlated subquery. So in non-correlated, what happens is the first and foremost inner query will be executed. Later, outer query will be executed. Right? So in case of a non-correlated subquery, the inner query is going to be executed first. Later, the outer query is going to be executed. As we know what is inner and outer, this is the outer query. This is your inner query. Let me put this into this so that you can understand. Yeah. Now this is very simple. Select to query. This is the outer query. And this is your inner query. Now, by looking at the syntax, I'm not able to understand which one will execute first so that I'll get the right information from my problem statements. So as I said, like it's divided again into two things. So inner query will be first executed and later outer query will be executed, right? So it depends upon the result of the inner query. So whenever you're trying to run this kind of queries, first the outer query result will depend upon the inner query. So what inner query is giving you the result, based on that, the outer query is going to give the result. So the result of the outer query, I repeat, will depend upon the inner query. So let me, outer query results depends on inner query. Very clear. Okay, I repeat, inner query executed first, later outer query is executed. So that means outer query results depends upon what here, it's an inner query. Again, this is subdivided, this non-correlated again subdivided as a simple one, simple, or you can call it as a single row subquery. I'm just giving a shortcut here, and multi-row subquery. Okay, it is further divided. This non-correlated subquery are further divided into single or simple or multi-row subquery. So what does it mean is, whenever you you are looking for a single value out of your entire BigQuery when you are trying to see the count of employees, for example. Count of employees, that's a single value which you're trying to derive by writing a complex query, then it is considered as a single row subquery. When you're trying to give, when you want to view multiple employees information, then it is considered as a multiple subquery. Okay. Further, non-correlated subqueries divide into simple and multiple queries. Now let's try to see this very very classic example. Always it's been asked in the interview, can you find second highest salary for me? Okay. Or can you find the first highest salary in the table? Or can you find the 40th salary in the table? So this is a common question which is asked, and I cannot perform this query just by writing a simple query. So what exactly the knowledge I need to have is subquery knowledge. So let's try to see first, without using a subquery, can I achieve it? If so, how? And what made me to use a subquery also, we'll try to understand that. So for that, let me go to the Object Explorer and see if any perfect table which help me to do this. We have something called table EMP. Let's see how this table is, because I need something related to a salary information. Select star from table. There is an EMP table. Okay, in this we have a salary. So now by looking at this salary, what do you think? Which is the highest salary in this? So let's try to edit this table so that we can get first, second, third highest, which will be very clear for us. So EMP table, go for the edit. So first we have some 10,000. Okay, we have something called 11,000. This is 6,000. Again, I'm giving 10,000 intentionally to see whether it will also pick up first salary, in the sense this is a maximum, this is the second highest salary. Okay. And this is 4,000, let it be 5,000. So the highest salary what I can see here is 60,000, which is for Deepa. Okay, let's try to close this and run it again. You'll see the highest salary is 60,000. All right, if I want to get the maximum salary from this table, I can use the max, right? So that's what I learned. So let's say salary. Let me run this. Absolutely, I'm getting this. So what if I want to get the related information also? I need to get what? Select star from the table TBLEMP. That's it. So this query is giving me the complete information. The first query is giving me the maximum salary. Now, if I need to run individually, I can see, I can easily point out, okay, 60,000 is related to Deepa, who is female, and department is one, or whatever the department. So here it's quite easy to find out the maximum salary, because I know there is a function called max through which I can find out. But here I don't know what is the maximum salary. Think about this. I don't know what is the maximum salary from the millions of rows what I have. Here by visually I can see, okay, Deepa is earning the highest salary. Second highest is Srinivas and Monty. Third highest is some XYZ. We have the complete visual information here. But what if you have some information which you don't know and you want to trace out? Okay, always by finding max you can get the maximum salary. By using a min you can get the minimum salary, right? So once you run this, you'll see the minimum salary straight away. And here I'm trying to find the maximum salary. Okay, maybe the first salary, first employee who's, I mean, employee who's getting the first highest salary, second highest salary, third highest salary. So if you want to get this kind of information, the max will definitely help you. At the same time, we need a subquery here. Let's try to see why we need the subquery here. Okay, select star from this table. As I said, when I run this both, I'm getting the complete information, which is good. But now how do I know? I want to get the maximum salary. Whoever the person is, I'm not sure. I want complete information of that line of information I need, which I'm not able to get from here. So let's try to see if I can use where clause here. Okay, for that what I need to do is where salary equals to max of salary. Very simple. Okay, I try to use, when I run this, you'll get into errors. Why? The thing is, this is the best query actually to be written to find the complete information. Why? Because I've used a star here to get the complete line of information, because star stands for all columns, and I'm using a max in order to get the maximum salary. But I failed to do this. The reason is where clause will never take aggregated functions. That's a problem here. So if you see here, where clause will not take aggregated values. So that's a problem here, right? Okay, what it is trying to tell you, an aggregated may not appear in the where clause unless it is a subquery. So it is trying to tell you very upfront, unless it is a subquery we can use, but on a single line of command we cannot use. On a single line of command we cannot use where salary equal to max salary, which is wrong. So what I need to do now to come out of this error, that means I need here some inner query. Okay, I need some inner query in order to perform this job, right? So select star from table will give me the complete information from the table. Will salary equal to trying to customize what is the maximum salary you want to get from this table. Now, uh, as you know, the first line of statement is giving the complete information, and the select star from, okay, already written here. Let me pick up that very quickly. All right. So this is giving me the complete max salary from the table. Now this is your inner query and that is your outer query. So as always, inner query result will depend upon the outer query. So when you run this, you are getting the 6,000, right? Now how you are going to combine in order to get the first maximum salary here. So for that, I'm writing already select star from table, which is giving me the information where I need to use the where clause salary equals to, then open the bracket and use your second line of statement that is which is giving the inner query. So what is the inner query result? 60,000 is a max salary. So what is the outer query result? It is trying to give the complete information. Now the inner query result, whatever you are getting 60,000 related, this value, what you are getting the value, based on that value, it is going to get the select star from the table. So that means 60,000 related information. That means I should be getting that employee complete information. Perfect. Again, I repeat, this is your inner query, which is giving a 60,000, right? This is 60K. But I want, along with that, I want is complete information, which department he works, what is his salary, what is date of birth. I want the rest of the information also. So that I'm getting with the first statement, that is the outer query. So when you try to run your inner query, which is giving the result, based on that, you're trying to give, you're running the main information. So that's why combinedly, when you try to run, we are getting the inner query result is, the outer query result is based on the inner query. So that's how we are getting only one person with the maximum of salary. So nothing but we can say this is a first highest salary. Excellent. Now I got the first highest salary. What if I want to know what is the second highest salary? Is it that difficult? Let's try to see by copying the same information again and pasting here. So if I run this again, I'll get the same first highest. So let me see what is the second highest salary in the table first. Before we actually run and see the output. Second highest, let's see 60,000. Okay, the first salary is 60,000. Second highest is Ronnie, who is getting 11,000. Okay, 11,000 is the second highest. But how do I get the second highest? Directly, even if I say max, I'll get the max salary. Even if I use a min, I'll get the min. But I don't know how to get the second record, which is from the table. Without subquery, let's try to imagine something else. If I use a select star from table order by salary, I'll get the first highest at the top, right? From highest to lowest, if you take, I can still get the first record by using a top. What I mean is select star from table EMP. Okay. Now when I run this, this is what I'm getting. Here I want to use order by your salary. When I run this, what happens is the lowest is at the top and the highest is at the bottom. So what I do is DSC, when I run this, I'm getting the top at the highest at the top. So by here, I can use my next trick, that is top one, and get this information. No doubt. But what about the second highest? Okay, I want to get the second highest. No doubt. I can say 2. Can I get the third highest? No problem. I can go for 3. But are you getting the right result? You are getting along with the other people information. Top 3 means what? We are getting the first three lines, but I don't want the first 3 lines. I want the first line which is giving me a max salary, the way I'm getting the record, only single record. When I say two also, I should be getting second record, which is not happening because two stands for two rows, top two rows, right? So that's how you can trick in order to get the first highest salary without using a subquery itself. Now let's try to see without subquery to get the first highest salary. Very easy. Now, if you want to get the second highest salary, let me put this here. Now, what you want to do is, if you want to get the second highest salary, what you're gonna use the second, the first anyway giving the complete information, which is a outer query, and the second one is already giving the second highest salary. Can I perform one more query, which is going to give me the second highest? So second highest, where I can use where salary equal salary less than. Let me use the less than symbol. I'll let you know what exactly it means. Less than. Then open the parenthesis again. Okay, and you're trying to find the information now. What is the 60K mean? 60K is related to this query. Okay, 60K is related to this query. So whenever I run the last query, which is trying to give me only the maximum salary, when the second query runs, second inner query runs, it is trying to check, okay, your max salary is 60K. You're getting the max salary as 60K, and the rest of the salaries, what we have 5 people in within that range, who is the first highest again? That is what I'm trying to check with the second query, that is this. So this is 60K, less than 60K. If you have anything else, we are going to find here. Sorry, this is what is giving an error. Yeah. Okay, I repeat this query again. Select star from table where salary equals to, okay, equals to. Here we are trying to use select the max salary from employee table where salary is less than, where salary is less than of the first inner query, which is giving me 60,000. So let me run this and see if I are getting the salary here. Oh yeah. So here when I run this, you got.
You have to.
Yeah. So here the first salary, how I'm getting the first salary. So when I run this, I'm getting the first highest salary. Okay. Now the second query, what it is doing, this second query result based on this one. So it's already proved that my highest salary in my table is 60K. This is checking. Can you please check one more time max salary? But this should be less than what the other query already resulted out. That is 60K. So 60K, when I run this main table again, so the last query is getting 60K. So that is, we are leaving that record. In the rest of the records, who is the first highest? That is a 11. That is what we are getting from the second query, and we are displaying the select star from table. That's it. That's how you are going to get the second highest. Now let's try to see who is the third highest here in the same fashion. So will it be very complicated to write the query? Not really. So let's try to copy this information and put it as a third time, because I want to find the third highest salary now, which is quite easy now if you try to break it down. Now, this will give me a result of second highest, but now I want to go further. So if you want to go for further, what happens? We need to use one more time. How you are going to use one more time? You are going to put this one more time in this subquery. So that is select star from table, which is less than of this salary. So that means you close this bracket. Now, if you keep on doing like this, how many queries we can build? Third highest. Now, what if somebody is asking the 40th highest, can you find who is the salary? So this becomes very, very, very problematic. As long as it is a first, second, third, I can still manage. But if we are talking about a 40th or 50th, it becomes very, very problematic. I mean, we cannot write the query so many times. Okay, we need to keep checking the first maximum. After that, what is the maximum? After that, what is the maximum? Then displays complete information, which is quite impossible. Now, what I want to do here is I want to use the other alternative where I can find very quickly the where I want to find very quickly the salary without taking the query into this level. So that means I want to find the nth salary of this, whatever the salary, because somebody is asking third, I'm writing three queries. So here what is happening is if somebody is asking one first highest, I'm writing 2 queries here. When somebody is asking fourth highest, I'm writing 5 queries here. When somebody is asking 10, that means I'm using 11 queries totally, guys. So that means this query is keep on building based on the question being asked. So this is not the best way of writing actually. For one, second, third, it's still good. But if you're looking for the nth in the sense, we never know like which question you may ask, but still how quickly we can convert this getting the salary. Let's try to see that. So let's try to keep it now nth salary in the sense unknown number from the table. Now here, first we need to, let's try to take a formula base here, n equal to 1. Okay, n equal to 1. N stands for how many times you want, which highest salary you are looking for. So for that, first use the statement as usual, select star from table. Table, what is your table name? That is DBLEMP. Then try to give some alias name because you keep using it, E1. Then where, use the condition where, uh, let me finish this query first, then select. I'm trying to write the inner query. I want to count the number of column for salary because I'm looking for the salary here. From emp e2, emp e2 is nothing but your own table again, which is giving a another alias. I'm trying to create a virtual kind of a table, okay, and trying to derive the result from that table. So e2 where e2 dot salary then is greater than E1 dot salary. Now let's close this. Now, what is this query is talking about actually? Okay, let me put this way. Yeah, simple query. Just see the magic it is going to do. Whenever a question is asked in the interview, you can just manipulate this single query into multiple things the way you want. Now, select star from table, that is quite clear, and you're given a name called E1, which is very good. And for the second table, the same table, virtual table, you are giving as a E2, so that you can start comparing between the two tables. Actually, there's no two tables, it's only one table. N stands for which salary you're looking for. Okay, so N is nothing but here. My question was first highest salary. So 1 minus 1 becomes 0. So let's say where you can use the statement called where 0 equals to select star from table. Let me keep this here. Okay, where 0 equal to this. So that means when I run this, what happens? Let's see first. Okay, I got 60,000 for Deepa, who is the first highest salary. Now let's try to understand this query again and again because this will resolve as many problem statements as possible. I'm selecting from the table, which is giving the complete result, no doubt. Now I'm trying to select the count of the salary from the table, virtual table. I mean, if from the virtual table, this is the same replica of this table. If I'm trying to find what is the count of the salaries, how many counts are there, then I'm trying to check if the E2 is what your second table, virtual table, E salary is greater than E1 or not. And what condition is playing very important role here, where 0 equal to, where 0 stands for N. N is nothing but which number you're looking for, nth salary. I'm looking for 0. 1 minus 1 is 0. I'm putting 1. Now, when I run this, I'm getting the first highest. Okay. Now you can't even imagine how simple this query is writing instead of writing multiple queries as first highest salary. Now let's make it to a 2. How easy it would be. Let's see. Now this is a second highest. When now what exactly I need to change here, because I need to understand the question is asking for third highest or second highest. So second highest. So if he's asking for second highest, I need to say 2. 2 minus 1 equal to nothing but 1. So let me put as a 1 here. So that means I'm ideally supposed to see whose salary now. That is first is Deepa and second is who is the second one, that is Ronnie. So I need to get the Ronnie's detail now. So when I run this, I should be getting pretty straightforward Ronnie here. That is the second salary. If somebody is asking what is the third salary, no problem. Just go for it. The third salary, that is 3 third salary. Now what is your N value? You can easily imagine now. N is he's asking the question 3. 3 minus 1 is 2. So let's say 2. 2 stands for the 3 in virtual environment. But why I'm getting two values here? Because these are the two guys, Monty and Srinivas, getting the same salary and who are standing at the third stage. Now let's go for the fourth one. Is it difficult to write the fourth one? Not really. If you're writing through the subqueries, might be it's difficult, but if you are using this subquery, which is other way of writing, what I mean is, this is also called as a subquery, but it's the other way of writing. Fourth salary. So 4 minus 1, that is 3. So let's try to make it as 3 now. That's it. Third highest, there's no third highest here. So we have the first highest and the second highest we have Monty. No, second here is this. Third highest is Monty and Srinivas. And we have the fourth highest as Ben. Why we are not getting the results for Ben then? So when I'm running this, not sure. It is 2. If I say fifth salary, not sure. What's the problem with Ben? Ben doesn't want to show. Not really sure what happened, but yeah. So this is this is how we can make finding out the salaries, and just like that, by giving this simple query rather than this. In this query, this query is beautiful actually, but it's also giving me a lot of knowledge how to perform a particular end salary. So the only thing is, if somebody is asking the fourth highest, I need to write one more query. Somebody is asking a sixth highest, I need to run. So this query keep growing as long as the business question is keep growing. So this is a one way of writing if it is a simple query, but when you're trying to think about uh, writing multiple lines, that can be customized by simply using this one. So you need to remember this formula. It's not a formula, just a general assumption. N, N number of times, which nth time you are looking for the salary. So N always stands for which number. So he's looking for fourth, and he's looking for third. It's 2. Sorry, it's not fourth. It is if it is first salary, we are going to give 0. Okay, 1 minus 1. Then if it is the second salary, 2 minus 1, that is 1. And if you're looking for the third highest salary, so that means 3 minus 1. If you're looking for the fourth highest salary, that means 4 minus 1, it should be 3. Okay. In the same goes like fifth salary, that means 5 minus 1, that is nothing but you are going to give it the 4. Okay, let's try to see an example here once again. Uh, let's try to display employee details from the table. What we are, let's see the how the what kind of a table we have again, just to see if the table example is right. Okay, this is the table what we have right now, and we have gender, salary, name as usual. So what if somebody is asking you to display employee details from the table whose department is, okay, we don't have a department here. So what do I do is, this is the best example to understand the multiple rows. So DP table EMP. So let me quickly go here. Not here. I want to change the first, go to the design part and change this DEPT to DEPT name and make it as a varchar. Obviously, just close this and say yes. You'll get an error because already the data what we have in the table is a varchar integer data type. So here we cannot use DEPT. So DEPT, like let's say HR, it's not allowing because the reason is it is an integer data type. So let's try to drop the column itself otherwise, or you can modify it. So as we are using the graphical user interface, table EMP, let's open it up and go for the columns and drop the last one, that is delete. Okay, it's deleted. Now go to the design. Actually, we can use that alter command, as you know. So I'm using DPT name and it should be varchar as we want. Now close this and go to the design part. That is, before that, try to ensure you have the right columns, what you're looking for. Refresh, and we have table here. And in the table EMP, when you click on that, we have the DPT name, but we don't have a data in that. So let's go for quickly adding up data here. So in the mail, there is a Monty is from HR. This is from finance. And we have something called Deepa, who is HR, who is IT, who is sales, maybe admin. So Guys, quickly, I just created a table with a column called DPT name so that I can talk about something related to DPT. Okay, so now we have the table. The IDs have become now, or you can also join and get that. I simply deleted rather. So what we are trying to do is we want to display the employee details from this table, what we created, TAP employee, whose department is same as employee. Okay, who are the people? For example, Monty is from HR and Deepa is from also HR. And who else is matching? I need to have one more alternative. But let's take this example for now. We have Monty and Deepa who is having a same department. If you want to achieve this kind of solve this kind of query, what you can do is we can simply use select star from, or as you are looking for a department. So let's say a department name from the table without X and Y, because we are not sure who are the people, right? What you are looking for is a department, that's fine. For which table, it's still fine, but without X and Y, that is which, who are the people, I don't know. Okay, in this kind of situation, how you are going to find it? So let's try to build the query itself directly. Select star from this table, select star from this table, then where DEPT, uh, DEPT name. Are we using the right table? So table EMP, now we have DEPT name. Is it? Okay, where DPT equals to, if I say where DPT equals to IT, I should be getting IT. Okay, do we have IT? Yes. Okay, so this is how in a simple manner we are going to write, but here the question is little different. So understanding the question itself takes a lot of time. Sometimes writing query will be very easy if you understand the question. Display the employees. What I want to do is I want to display the employees. So let me again put this. You want to display the employee names, okay, who are sharing the same department name. Okay, and who are those? I don't have any clue. If I know Monty and Deepa, if I know Srinivas, I can put simply in the where condition where employee name equal to Srinivas. Along with Srinivas, only Srinivas information you are going to get. If I am really particular about HR department, if I say select star from table where department equal to HR, I'll get the HR related, how many people are working and similar employees. But here the I don't have any clue. Actually, I don't have any clue who are the people. If I know, I would have put in a where condition. But now how we are going to resolve this question? Okay, now where department name equals to, then we are going to use a select query here. So what is a select query here? Simply use select DPT name. I am not getting DPT name. DPT name, okay, from table where name equal to X and name equal to Y. This is what the employee names which you are intended to give. So if I try to run by using this query, what happens is here we are trying to give the name specification through which you are going to get the results. And we also have the department name which you already written. So I don't want to mention the department because I'm not sure. Okay, I'm not sure here. So if you try to run this kind of query where specifying the name equal to X and name equal to Y, probably you are going to get the result because you are very clear which names you are looking for. But as as we are trying to use a subquery, okay, as we are trying to use a subquery, we have two choices here. One is non-correlated and one is correlated. Correlated always gives whenever you want to work with correlated. Okay, before that there is one more. Simple single line row. That is what we are trying to work so far. But now it's a time to use multiple row because we are trying to find multiple rows. Maybe you'll get for the HR like 4 or 5 people. So that means you are trying to get multiple values. Then we need to use a multi-row command here. So how we are going to use that? Nothing, but we are not going to mention anywhere. Rather, we are going to mm, put the information. So if I try to put the name like Monty here, for example, and the name equal to who else? It's Deepa. Okay, this is what exactly you are looking for. When I run this, you are not going to get the result. Okay, table. It's not a table. What is that table name? Table, DB table. Yeah. What happened? Okay. So the problem here is like when you're trying to use this command, it will work fine if you have a single value like this. Okay. Let me comment it out. You'll get the exactly what you're looking for if you're familiar with what name you're looking for, because I know Monty related that who is the other employees working in the same department, I could able to see. The problem is here, when I try to put the two names, it is not accepting. Okay. The reason is we are trying to get a multi-row combination. In that case, we are not supposed to use equals to operator here. Okay. Whenever you're not supposed to use operator that is called as equals to operator. So what exactly we are supposed to use is the in operator. So we know that whenever you want to get multiple rows information, we are supposed to use the in. So when I say in, okay. So hold on. Select star from table where department in, okay, and select department name from this table where name equal to this and this. When I am using in operator, what happens? So okay, so that means where name equal to, we are not supposed to use again equals to operator, as we are getting from two different multi-user. So I'm supposed to use in operator here. So in this case, will it give the results? No. Oh yeah. Yeah. So this is how you are going to use the in operator rather than using a equals to operator here. And you want to find who are the people who are sharing with the same department name. Okay. So the combination, we don't have any other people who are having a same HR, finance, sales. No. So this is a multi-row combination, guys. So basically the correlated subquery which I was referring, it works differently. That is working opposite. So what we have seen so far, that is using a combination of this is what the correlated subquery. And this is your non-correlated. So non-correlated always try to give a single value, whereas this is correlated and this is, sorry, this is a non-correlated, what you're trying to work on the first instance, and this is a correlated.